thank you to our patrons for helping make this podcast possible. I put, what's something you're allergic to?
Weed.
I put weed in your weed to get you extra allergic up.
Hey.
Uh-huh.
Guess what?
What's up?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
That's not what I meant to do. Just forget it.
You saw how eager I was? I was like,
yeah, I'm
this
sorry.
is me when you were just barely playing something. Yeah. Yeah. Crank it. Crank it. Crank it. Crank it. Crank it. This is a DJ Rav exclusive. I'm gonna blow my balls off with a shotgun.
What'd you think of that?
That's pretty good. Did you like what I added on top of it?
I like it a lot. You put like a bunch of like, I like that you layered a lot of ad libs, or well, no, they wouldn't be ad libs. They would be like tags, so that nobody could ever sample it, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's like those old, like, you know who was really egregious with this? DJ Ski back in the day.
Oh yeah,
Ski. In the middle of a verse.
Ski Productions.
It'd be Charles Hamilton rapping or The Game rapping. I'd be like, yeah, I'm about to kill him. Just like this is a DJ Ski exclusive. Like right over the fucking verse. What was the punchline? We'll never know.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, guess what?
Huh?
It's time. The boys are back in town. Kill Bill and Rav. It's your host, Avoid FM. What's been up, man?
The boys back in town. The boys back in town. I don't want to get copyrighted for that because it was so close to the original. I've been good, man. I've been good. I've been keeping busy. Fucking shaking my ass, shaking my tail feather on the low. You know what I'm saying? How about you? How you been?
I've been good. Been working on a lot of music. Not a lot of music related stuff, you know. So
yeah,
I've showed you some of it. So
yeah, I've heard it. It's pretty good. It's okay, I guess. You know?
Well, other than that,
I gotta keep you grounded. I can't be like dick riding my friend for real.
Yeah, no, you're right. Being supportive.
It sucks. I look at the camera. It all fucking sucks.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate
that. Yeah. I'm here for you, man. That's for you. I'm here for you.
Anyway, hold on. I need to blow my nose.
I need to blow my load. Mitch, I know you want to leave that in there, but please don't leave that in there. That specific thing I just said about blowing a load, you know? Maybe dial it back just a little bit. Kind of, you know? Just don't do that. Woo! Woo! I'm gonna talk while he's gone. I'll talk to the people. Man, I've been watching anime intros all morning. Got me fucking hyped up. Been watching that Yu Yu Hakusho intro on loop. Get me all hyped. Oh, hey, he's back. What's up?
What up?
Oh shit!
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Back again. Rav is back. With the gun. Dude, what if you shot me with the 808 gun? Oh, stop! Stop it! Stop! That's what it's like to get shot with the 808 gun. I had to adjust myself. Shit. My hat, not my balls.
You are now tuning in to Void FM. Psych.
Are you serious? I was so ready.
4050 feet, why don't you turn around and let's get back into the table. Okay. Let this turn around to your right. Set up. Forward. And just lead him. Alright, better. One round. I just denied that field if you pick up the main I don't want to go into the spot if I can afford it. That's right. Let them get a view from there and I'll see what the field of view looks like.
I'm swimming.
Another week.
I'm swimming right now.
Another week, another dollar, man.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. You know what's crazy? In 7 weeks, we'll have $7 at this rate.
That's crazy. Crazy to think
I
about.
know.
So I think we should talk about some cool things. Some
important things?
Maybe.
Oh, I was right. No way. Crazy. What do you want to talk about? What's on your noggin, champ?
Yeah, what's on your noggin? You go first.
Oh man, nothing worth talking about. That's the thing.
Come on now. I bet that's not true.
I mean, there's some things. I just pull out a like long list, like a
I mean, there are
scroll.
some things.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on now.
Do you put me on the spot? You
Come
want
on,
me to
come on
talk
now.
on this podcast and be interesting? Like, what the fuck? What do you expect from me? What do you think this is, dude? Like,
Come on, man. Think about it.
You-
Though.
okay, I got this.
Put your head in the game. People choose to be like, hey, I have so much time in my life. Only so much time in my life, right? And
Mhm.
I have to be careful with how I spend the most precious resource that we get, which is time, right? And then people, adults, go and they're like, I'm going to listen to the newest episode of Void FM. You know?
Adults
grew up
do
with these
that.
guys.
It's funny to me.
I grew up with these guys. I'm an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm listening to this.
I got a job, maybe.
I would imagine, yes, potentially unemployed every other person
I
here
mean,
and there. I mean, I don't know
yeah.
what the stats are looking like. I'll be honest. We need to do a.
Hey, drop a comment on if you have a job or not.
It's just gonna be like a full comment section of like, "Hey, homeless here, homeless EXO fan here."
Yeah, it's all like all of our fans are broke. Like we have the most broke fans.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
fine. We're
I
going
like that.
we can pivot with that to like
Yeah.
becoming like, okay, these are the tips to becoming a baller. Like us.
And a shot collar.
Shut the fuck up. Also,
If you want 20-inch blades on the Impala, what do you want?
you looking good. You sprucing it up.
Thanks.
Doing something a little different today.
Yeah. I've got some other shit going on,
Yeah.
What about you? You look good. You look good.
Up,
You
man. Stop objectifying me, man. Okay, so check this out.
You're a hot piece of ass, my friend.
Wait, so what were we saying just there before I started insulting you?
You were like asking. Oh, we were talking about having homeless fans.
Before that.
You were like, dude, what do we talk about? You pick it. You're
After
the
that.
one who's good at doing it. I was gonna say something about. I want to talk about being a hater.
Oh, okay. Let's dive into that.
I tweeted about this the other day, and I realized that like I had this like what's the word? Like an epiphany. The other day. I had an epiphany. I don't know, man. Just fucking shoot me if I do that again. Anyway, so like I had an epiphany the other day where I was like, I feel like I'm like the least hater person in not in just my friend group, but just people I know.
Mm-hmm.
Like in general. I'm very like not an anti-hater, because I like hearing people hate on shit, but I feel
You're
like
a huge
I'm not a
hater.
hater.
You're like one of the biggest haters I know.
I'm not a hater. That's a lie.
I think you're not like a hater, but the things that you're like, you do hate on, you're so like staunchly
Passionately
like,
against?
you will even admit in the moment, like, I know this doesn't make any sense and is not logical given how I look at all the other things. But this thing just objectively makes me want to kill myself, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to die thinking about when I look at this thing.
But it's like, I feel like
You say
I have
about the
very
sun that
few
you're hiding
things-
from your audience. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I look at this. I pull out a
Drake
child.
looking at his son.
He's just like,
Adonis. Yeah.
yeah. No, I guess that is true. There is. I feel like when it breaks, but I feel like I don't have the. It has to be something that really pushes me to the edge. And I'll talk about it. I'll talk about one recently,
Okay.
and this is one that we somewhat disagree on. I get it. It's one of those I get it situations. So I've been playing a little Mario Kart World.
Here we go.
I've been playing it,
Yeah.
and I thought maybe because I said that I didn't. I like the rare design of Donkey Kong
That's fair.
more than I like the redesign of Donkey Kong,
Which is based on the OG design that Rare was basing their design off.
Right. But I don't like it as much. I don't like the OG design.
Even though
as much as
the
rare one.
designer, the OG Rare designer of Donkey Kong is like saying like, come on, y'all, the redesign is like so much better.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you seen him in the game?
Yes.
Do you know what he does?
No. What do you mean?
So
Allegations are coming out.
So I said on Twitter, like I was like, man, I was also like joking. I don't really care, right?
I mean, you came in fucking hot.
Yeah, but it was funny. It was like, yeah, I want.
That's why I say you're a big ass
hater.
hater. You do the same shit whenever they announce new Pokemon starters. Instead of just being like, oh, this one's so cute, you'll be like, I will die for this one. Also, I will kill this thing and make sure this thing never, procreates.
Yeah, but okay. We'll unpack that later. But so basically, they announced the redesign, and the reason why I don't like it isn't because all of these things that are true, objectively true, about like, oh yeah, it's like more expressive, all this other stuff. To me, it looks like I'm looking at DreamWorks. Like that's where my brain stops. It's like this is Wreck-It Ralph. That's where my head goes when I see the redesign. Like it's not bad, but it's just like not. Also, I kind of thought about it for a long time. I kind of liked it that Donkey Kong was just like head empty, had one facial expression. Like that is the character that I grew up on.
I see what you're saying. I do think the new design is better and more just like from a design standpoint, it's just more charming and more coherent within the world of Mario. Because he's the one character that kind of really stood out. He looked really bugged out.
That's kind of why I liked him.
Bugged out. But I agree. There is a charm to that. I don't think it makes the design better, but it does. But in a way it does. It can, right? Because it sets it apart. I see what you're saying. It's like, so it doesn't follow maybe the same metrics as all the other designs, but like it has a charm.
For sure. I think that I do think that it was time. It's not my favorite redesign, but I was like going into Mario Kart, I was like, damn, because I got a Switch and I was so excited and I got it. And I'm not like the biggest Mario Kart guy. And I really like this one. I can sit there and play it for like a long time. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like this is sold me, right? Yeah. So I unlocked Donkey Kong because he's not just, you can't just play him right off rip. You have to unlock him, right? Okay. And then he looks good. He looks good in the game. Like his face, he's like probably the most expressive, right? In the game when you first load him up. And then he does this number. You go to pick him and he goes like this. Okay.
I have two things to say. First of all, that's crazy that he does that. Two, that's crazy you just did that.
Okay.
So make that into a gift.
I said out loud. Like I was like, did he just dab? Right? Not only does he dab there, he dabs anytime anything happens. Okay, like
He's just like
it's
you,
like-
bro.
yeah, a red shell hit somebody. fucking he got away with tax evasion. Like he's fucking dabbing left and right. He'll go this way, he goes this way, he's going a front dab, he's doing
what's
some
your
other shit.
opinion on Duke now?
Yeah, well, he's obviously much better than I thought he was.
I didn't know he
passes the
had it
vibe
like
check.
that.
Yeah, for sure. It turns out he had swag all along. No, yeah, it does. I think that thing activated that you're talking about, where I did go. What's the word? I'm like, I feel like there's like certain people who have like a shotgun effect when they're a hater. Mine's like a Mosin Nagant like sniper rifle that's just zoned in on one thing, but like way more concentrated. And that's how I felt about him dabbing. I forgot about it. Makes me just like the design is whatever at this point. Just the fact that he does that, we need to like address it and fix it. That's what I think we need to write Miyamoto up real quick, or whoever's in charge.
He wasn't even in the
there.
credits.
Reggie will figure it out. He wasn't in the credits. Why not?
Not even in the
Is he
special.
just not there?
Thanks. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
Okay, let's talk about haters. So, like, we segued quickly to you being a hater, or some examples of you being a hater. But
I said that I was not a hater, and then I quickly conceded that I am in a more of a it happens less than a lot of people, but it's stronger. So I guess I'm wrong. Yeah.
So what's your take? What's your thing that you wanted to get off your chest?
Nothing really.
About haters. No, come on.
Well, I don't know. How do you? I know that you like being a hater sometimes.
Kind of, because also I know it's never too deep for me. Like, I don't, especially with art. Like I'm kind of grateful for the most part for all art in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
It's more so like the only people I will truly hate on are like entities that I feel like are oppressing people, or like are a net bad, I guess, a net ill for society, or whatever the fuck, which I just feel like with art, like art to me is a reflection of reality, not a conjurer of reality. This is why I never bought the idea of like games are making children violent, or movies are making, or music is making children violent. The world is becoming more violent, and the music is reflective of it, because that's what people are flocking to as the world gets more violent,
Yeah,
I think,
for sure.
and maybe there's like a little bit of a mix there of the two, but I just don't believe that it's like, anyway, I hope my point is somewhat.
I think it's more of it's music is just a reflection of society. And although there might be like, okay, here's a good example for this. I probably wouldn't have smoked weed if it weren't for rap music, because fucking rappers made that shit sound so good. Like I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And
I would have probably
right.
still ended up smoking it, just because so many cultures, like whether it's like punk culture, hip hop, metal, like it felt like any corner that you'd go into, like cool kids were smoking dope,
For sure. But I will say, I'm not blaming rap for this. I am saying that that was just what was my, like, I felt like it was like both a, like, oh, it's cool to do, and also it seems fun and interesting, because why would everyone that I think is cool do this thing if it weren't for, you know what I mean? It wasn't even like peer pressure. It was just like, oh, it seems like,
So, but to me, I'm not like a hater, like in a way where like I hold on. I like to sometimes rip into an artist, or rip into like a particular song or album, because there is like a fun thing there. I'm sure like I'm releasing endorphins. It's probably akin to like gossiping,
for sure,
where endorphins are being released, where you're just like, for a second you think to yourself you're AVGN of like whatever thing you're talking about, you feel qualified enough to be like, here's another thing, you know. So in that way, I like to hate. But I only use hate as a vehicle to making people laugh. Usually, in reality, when like I externalize it, it's because I'm trying to elicit a tee hee, a ha ha, hoo hoo, you know, and shit like that.
Yeah, I think that you get a lot of hoo hoos out of me, but no ha ha's or tee hee.
Your mama's hoo hoo.
Oh shit, dude. Yeah, you know when she watches this podcast, you know she watches this. So just be, you know, you're gonna see her at some point. You're gonna have to see my mom, and you're gonna have to.
I'm just gonna have to do the same thing. Didn't I apologize last time?
Kind of. Yes. Kinda. Well, yeah, you did. You just don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't, but that's why I asked you.
I keep up with it. I'm the rememberer. He does the apologize and I do the remembering.
Bill has the ability to retain information. I don't have that, you know. But Bill doesn't have object permanence. But together, we're almost functional.
Exactly. We even each other out in a way that we're like almost a person. What are you doing? Where'd he go? Hello?
I'm here.
Thank God, dude. I got really scared for a second.
Yeah, sorry. I was just...
I hate it when I get scared.
So you were saying I'm a hater, or I like to be a hater sometimes. Where were you thinking of going with that?
I don't know. You just said that before. This is I want to just be clear here. There's no aim to this conversation at all. It was just kind of like, you were like, oh, hey, dude, what do you want to talk about? I was like, I don't know. I was thinking about being a hater.
All right, dear audience, you know what's going on here, right? I know what's going on here. You know what's going on here. He's hiding something. I hear it. We need to unpack that, okay? He is very defensive, and that's okay. We can take our time with it. You know? Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
I'm not here to hurt you, bro. What?
I know, man. I know. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that I didn't have a clear... I don't have a clear goal here. I'm just trying to say that I'm wanting to make you look really... I want you to look really evil and me to look like super cool.
Feelings?
My mom.
I do have to say this. My feelings don't get hurt by hate the same way no more. That they did. Like, something I just thought about the other day, like, compared to, like, when, I don't know, 10 years ago, when we're putting things out and, like, really just trying to maximize our audience, trying to get as many people to hear the music we were making at the time, and just, like, praying people would say nice things. And then when people did say negative things, I remember back then it was so crushing, you know? Now I just don't believe it. And I think it's in part because of the people it's the things we've achieved, things we've accomplished. There's like a proof of concept now, you know, that kind of, I think, understandably fuels a sense of confidence within us. I think, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me as much. I mean, there's sometimes
some of my heroes, some of my top favorite rappers of all time acknowledge me and fuck with me heavy, you know? So like when shit like that happens, after a while, all the other voices are just like, why would I take it seriously? It's like, imagine if you were in a specific field of like microbiology, and then like one of the best figures, highest, most respected figures in it acknowledges you and wants to work with you on a paper, and then some like random person writing into a newspaper is like shitting on you or saying like, he doesn't know what he's doing, he clearly blah blah blah. Why would you ever take that seriously when you got like the God acknowledging you or whatever, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's definitely also played a huge part in it, like in breaking that illusion or whatever. I'm the mirage of what's it called when you're like, you feel like you don't deserve the things that when things are going good.
Like imposter syndrome.
Yeah, the mirage of imposter syndrome fades over time when like when you have tangible accomplishments, you know, and like certain things that are like it starts to be when it starts to get hard to make excuses for your success and things like that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I also feel like we've been doing music for so long and had so many different sounds and people that like each one of those sounds, different albums that sound different, different songs that sound different. And there's a part of me that feels like I'm not really doing, like, don't get me wrong, like I want to impress people and that I want people to like my music, right? But it's not really like for anybody but me at this point. It's like, does it make me feel something? Does it move the needle for me? And everything else, like, don't get me wrong, like there's definitely been like times, maybe even in recent times, where like someone said something that like not got to me, but made me knee jerk in a way. Like, you know, sometimes you'll get people who are just like too comfortable and they're saying something nice about your music, but they're like shitting on some other aspect of your music or whatever. Yeah. And, you know, that's like, you know, like it's just a thing that, or another thing that I'll see sometimes will be like, I try not to like read like reviews too much or whatever, but I think that sometimes there's this thing where people will do this thing of like, okay, there will be like one person who's popular who just doesn't really like popular in a circle or online or whatever, who doesn't really like the music it just doesn't connect with them. Mm-hmm. Right. And they're vague about it. They're just like, yeah, well, you know, I kind of don't like some of the bars or whatever. And they don't go into any detail. Right. It's just like, they don't like it. Yeah. And then like, there's like the type of person who's like seen that type of sentiment. And they're like, well, it's obviously going around that this is a popular, like in some circles, this is a popular opinion, right?
Oh, so, yeah. It's funny how like a singular opinion becomes popular, perceived as popular opinion through optics.
Yeah, yeah. And so I'll see it sometimes where I'll be like, well, of course some of the bars are bad. And I want to know.
Oh, that's
sometimes
funny. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then I kind of want to know sometimes because I'm like, when people say that, I'm always like, give me an example. Like, what is the one that didn't land for you? And I'm not like trying to be like, yo,
no, same, especially for Keep the Change. Tell me where I said anything that you were like, hey, this shit sucks.
Yeah, I mean, like that's my thing is I can understand if something doesn't land for you or it just doesn't move. But like, I feel like one of my strengths as of like late is like knowing like when not to say something. You know what I mean? I've been a lot better over the years of like finding like, I'm not going to say something that I feel is like cringe, or it's like, maybe it's cringe to you in a sense of like, you just don't like this thing that I think is really cool or whatever, you know. But I struggle sometimes because I'm like, I'll see somebody just like a random thing be like, well, of course, like the lyrics are like not all that. I can understand being like, oh, they're not up to a standard of like, it didn't move me. But when people say it's bad, like I'm kind of like, where is the bad? Like, where is the bar that made you go like, this is bad? Right. You know,
you're kind of, you're thinking to yourself like, okay, if someone's saying that, like, what are the bars that come to mind when they say that? You know, like when they think.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not me being like, you're wrong.
No, yeah. Like, you're not trying to be a hater. You're just trying to understand.
Yeah. It's not coming from a place of, and it's not like it's going to change, right? Your opinion on it's not going to change the way I write or whatever.
Like, look, I do think feedback is not entirely useless. I do think for the most part it is, especially because most people don't know how to give feedback, or most people aren't qualified enough to deliver feedback, right? But like I do listen to some feedback. I think like, especially if it becomes, if you feel like a consensus is reached around something online, even if you strongly disagree, or like when you see it, it kind of like makes you feel sick in your stomach because you're like, damn, like that is not how I see myself or how I want to put myself out. Why is this the perception? That dissonance can make you feel like alienated for sure. But I think for the most part, it can be helpful. Like if it is the consensus, I think it's helpful to like understand, because either you can learn something and better that relationship with the audience, or you learn that the audience has like a false perception of something, and you then communicate, you bridge that gap of knowledge with communication, and then like, you know, nurture a healthier relationship with your audience and with your art. Because, you know, I've taken certain things on as time's gone on, and it's not like everything is equally perceived the same ways, but sometimes I'll see certain things that people will say and they'll like, yeah, I kind of felt that too, you know, like I kind of already been feeling that way. I've been recently moving away from it. This feels like a confirmation that like that's a good decision that I'm making or whatever. So that way I allow it in, you know, and like, but I never allow it in so much that like I think that anyone and everyone with an opinion online whose face I don't see or know how old they are, like I'm not going to be able to take all of their opinions equally seriously, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, I hope my point is coherent-ish.
No, 100%. I mean, I feel the same way. Like I've seen stuff. There's certain stuff that here's a good one was that I saw a few times. Just people have said to me and stuff like this, just randomly, like Snow Globe Theory, for example. That's my favorite record I've ever made. But there's stuff in it that, like, there's stuff that as a person who's making it, I would have never thought about. Because I'm not listening to it, I'm making it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So like, for example, someone would be like, man, this album is great. And I had like a very like set theme, like the sequencing was a part of the theme. And this is important. I'm going to say this to get to this other point. Like the whole sequencing is like, it starts off because like the whole thing is about him trying to go to the moon. Right. Like, so it's like, it starts off, it's very like terrestrial, very like earthy sounding. And then as it goes on, it gets more and more like outer space, like, I want to say echoey. That's not the word. Like ethereal. Like it's supposed to be like more and more out of this world until the ending where he lands on the moon, right? Yeah. Or the planet or whatever, right? And so that's what I was going for. And then that's all I'm like just laser sighted on this as a part of the art, right? Yeah. And then someone's like, man, I love this record, but I have to listen to it on shuffle because there's like 4 drumless tracks back to back. And I'm like, damn, I would have never even fucking thought of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and cool. Like it doesn't match with like what I was going for, but it's just something I didn't even like consider. Like if I thought of that, then maybe I would have changed it a little bit, you know? But just stuff like that. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. It's just that I think the problem with us, for a lot of us artists, I think we feel cautious about congratulating or positively speaking on people's input because we don't want to invite a lot of unsolicited sort of feedback in that kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking for y'all to critique the music, you know? Like, I'm not asking you for mixing advice unless you have like a super strong feeling about how it could really make a huge difference and you are qualified enough to make that suggestion, or you just kind of, you know, you don't make suggestions. I don't know. Like, I feel like I worry that like if I say like, hey, thank you for this feedback or that feedback, that then people will be like, oh, I have to like, in order to validate myself to Bill or Rav or anyone like that, I have to enter and convince them that like I'm in the know or that like I understand a lot of intricacies. And the way to do that is to give them some criticism that will make them go, oh, damn, yeah, you right. Okay, I'm impressed. You know, like, I think that's what a lot of people are kind of hoping for as the outcome. I don't ever want to do anything that would invite that kind of behavior. I want to explicitly dissuade that. As I said, like, it's not against y'all voicing your opinions, just like, you know, I think there needs to be an understanding of what is like voicing your opinions to your homies, into the nether, into public, and then voicing your opinions directly to the artist. These are like different ways of engaging with people. It's like how you would talk about your teachers outside of school very differently than how you would talk to teachers to their faces type shit, you know? Like there's certain etiquette, and I think there's just a lot of etiquette that is not applied when people engage with artists, entertainers online, you know? There's like, maybe because it's such a, still like a new concept of like not having a middleman set of parties dealing with the communication on your behalf. Now that you could just directly post an Instagram story or tweet something, the relationship has changed, but I don't think people adapt it to like a decorum that makes sense just yet. I feel like there's certain etiquette that's developed over the years naturally, but we still got a ways to go. Like it's
For
it's
sure.
very much treated as a place of like where you can say the craziest shit with no repercussions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing that gets me is like, I don't think that criticism is necessarily. I think that don't get me wrong, I think that if you see a common consensus and you're looking for it, right? Like if I wanted to go on Rate Your Music or whatever and like see what people are saying about my record, right? Like I can do that. But there is this layer of separation of me going and seeing what people are saying versus it being like just brought to my doorstep. And I think that the problem is like, I feel like I've made enough music of kind of varied sounds over the years that people have their like little favorite thing that they like, oh man, I like it when you do stuff like I Need a Pack, or I like stuff like RPG, or like, man, you need to only rap on jazz rap. You need to only rap on 808s. You need to only do this
Everyone
like, kind of
has
thing.
their preference.
For sure. And I hear it a lot, and a lot of it'll be just kind of just unasked for. And I don't think that people understand that when you're making something that it can kind of like ruin the relationship that the artist has with the art. If you're like if I overthought this shit, it's gonna suck. Like,
yeah,
it's
if I
not
also
gonna
let
be
you
good.
in too much, then it stops becoming my own art, or like the ratio of how much of this is me versus how much this is me and you being reflected through my understanding of me being perceived by you.
Yeah. I also have another thing that I wanted to talk about that is related to this. And this one's really weird to me. Okay. So like I grew up listening to a lot of underground rap. I listened to a lot of rap all over the place. And I know you were the same way. We just took it all in.
Yeah.
So like when I was growing up, when I listened to like Def Jux or like Anacon or anything like that, anything that was kind of like, like left of center,
right, Stone's
kind of weird,
rhyme sayers.
You Stone's Throw, rhyme sayer, stuff like that, like anything like that, I never in my life considered it like breaking into the mainstream. That was never something that like I cared about at all. It was kind of just cool that it was like this underground thing that I fucked with. And like, obviously you want people to be successful or whatever,
For sure.
But one of the things that I've seen over the years, and I know that you've seen this too, because we've talked about it.
Oh, I think I know what you're going to
like random people who are like super fans of like EXO or just us or like me or you or whatever.
Mad. Right?
Yeah, they'll be like, yo, why the fuck haven't you blown up yet? Like, if you did this, you would blow up.
Yeah, like they're mad at us. They're like, you haven't blown up, and it's kind of like your own fault. It's like actually your fault that you're not blowing up because you're not doing the right things. And it's like,
yes,
I don't know what the input, what they think they're, I don't know. I feel like it's a weird, it just like, to me, I always read it as narcissism because I'm like, who the fuck are you, bro?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you? What the fuck?
Also,
are you talking out your ass?
I think a lot of this too is like people. I've seen a lot of this on Twitter lately. Is like people using numbers a lot when they talk about like their favorite artist or whatever the thing is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Like I see it all the time. Like, oh, so and so, like, oh, they only sold 30K. I mean, I guess it comes from like a lot of pop Twitter stuff, like where it'll be like, oh, so and so, well, she's not a threat to whoever. She's not a threat to Nicki Minaj because Nicki sold 300 million and she only sold 200
but those kinds
million.
of conversations have always existed. Like, I say always, but have existed for over 20 years. I've been reading hip hop magazines since I was a kid, and I remember back then they were like when the conversation of indie versus majors was all the rage. This was during the Dipset versus 50 Cent beef. You know, like Double XL magazine was breaking it all down, and a lot of it is like just centered around like money.
Yeah,
Like it's so so to me it feels like, and that was like 2000 and I want to say 5 maybe, you know, 2006.
Yeah. I what I'm getting at though is like, although yes, that's been a thing, right? Like I think that the thing that's weird to me is like I've never seen like that on the lowest level of just like fucking people. Like it's always I never see like, man, who do you think is better, Pusha T or Drake? And someone's just like, well, Drake sells more. Like to me, that's insane.
I see what you're saying.
You know, like, and I see that shit like a lot.
But some people will be
Twitter.
like that. Yeah, Drake will sell blah blah blah. It's because just a lot of people, that's how they engage with it. You know, you'll see like a Joe Budden podcast or some. I mean, I don't know if they still engage in conversations the same way, but I recall at many points they'd be like, "All right, who's the best rapper between?" And they're like, "Look, depends. What are you talking about? Who sold the most records, or who can write the best song, or who can write the best verse?"
Well, yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about numbers on Twitter a lot. And to me, it's just weird because like I was always like one of those like, who's better at rapping? Who's dope and who's not? And it doesn't really matter about like record sales or anything like that. And right. I know that like things have shifted and are different now because it's like, does an underground even exist anymore? Because it's all just easily accessible, you know? I don't like, it's kind of a weird thing because like a lot of people consider things underground that are like have a lot of numbers, and a lot of things that have less numbers but are considered not underground, you know? Like, so right. It's kind of like, it's
well,
this
also
weird
it's like numbers
but
aware, you know, like it's people kind of pick and choose what matters to them. Like we charted on Billboard before Peggy did numerous times at this point, before Peggy ever charted for the first time, which was like I think last year or the year before that. You know, does that mean we were more successful than him up until that point? No, it's like it's such an arbitrary way to measure success. It's not like it doesn't account for all the other elements that absolutely play a part in, I think, understanding someone's like relevance, but also like someone's relevance culturally. Does that make them the best rapper or not? You know, like again, that's another thing they'll be like trying to make a distinction between, which is fair, but I think it's, I don't know. I think it's so interesting to even bring that into the conversation, success at all, like on any kind of level, especially. I don't know, man. It's just corny to me. To me, that shit is corny. Like it's art, and flexing like how much product you've sold over another artist as a way to just like, aha, checkmate them. To me, it's just cornball shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. But I think bringing it back to the original point of like just a fan being like upset that we haven't blown up. I sometimes I just wonder, because to me, like blowing up is this weird, like it is what you make it kind of thing. Like, for me, not I wouldn't say blowing up, I guess is one thing, but like making it in music, right, is like my textbook thing was like, oh, could you get to a point where you can like quit your job and like live sustainably and comfortably off of music?
Right.
And that is what I've always looked at as like making it in music. Like if you were, that's my baseline for success. And like getting to that point was like such a journey. Yeah. And getting there, I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like everything else is just fucking DLC at this point. That's how I looked at it. You know, I was like, hell yeah. Like obviously you want to like hold on to it and you want to make like, you want to like keep your goals high or whatever. But I was just like, damn, I did it, you know? And I think to me that was like, I'm not saying that like I don't want to be successful. Like I don't want to like get a bigger audience or anything, but like the last thing I'm caring about is like, oh, going mainstream or something. Yeah. Like I would rather just do what I'm doing with like more financial security and being able to do like whatever I want to do with music and have fun. And that's all, like literally all I care about.
Because we're not doing like certain things in terms of like we could be smarter about like some of our business decisions here and there. Like I get that, you know? And especially if you mean well, right? But understand that we're not asking for that advice. Like we're content with where we are currently, and we feel confident in being able to. We feel confident in trusting ourselves to handle things moving forward in a way that works best for us. And so when you come in and you're giving us advice, we can definitely be like, hey, you know, we appreciate it. Like, and, you know, we get it, but we're kind of like, we've given this a lot of thought too. It's not like we haven't considered this, blah, blah, blah. But if you're coming in and you're coming in hot, and you're like shitting on us, and you're like, this is what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. I don't understand why you feel the need to antagonize us. Like, are you so, is it truly that you are frustrated with our lack of success, or is it something else that's making you unhappy in your life, and you're finding it spilling into other corners of your life, such as here? Something to internalize, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think, I also think that a lot of people who have these, like, kind of, I assume that most people that say this are young. Like, I don't think that it's, like, super normal to, like, after a certain age, like, give a fuck about stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, not to say, like, to care, like, but to care that much about it, you know. But, you know, maybe that's just me. No, maybe that's just how I look at the world.
Yeah, that is I don't know. I like to think about it sometimes when people come in to hate, because there's like different agendas, right? Sometimes there's just like, oh, someone's trying to get a rise out of you, or really dislikes you, or just basically just being childish, right?
Yeah.
When you see that, it's like so like, it feels like spam almost. Or like, oh, yeah, block or whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't feel like, but then the ones, when it's fans, when it's people who are fans or come at you as fans who are aggressively critical in that kind of way, I'm just like,
that feels worse. Yeah,
it's just like, what the fuck?
Sometimes I feel like it's just people who are a little bit too invested. It's less about what they're saying and how they're saying it. I think that's actually more of the issue, and most of the time, because like I don't give a fuck if somebody doesn't like a record or like thinks like, oh man, they could have did this or whatever. It's not like it's not gonna eat away at me. I'm a grown man. Like I've made a lot of music. You know, it's okay if you didn't like something or you don't like a majority of it. There's other people that do, you know. But I think for me, it's like more of the communication, the method in which it's said that will sometimes get under my skin.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is just people who are just like I said, too invested, just parasocial about it or whatever, or just poor social skills. You know, sometimes you get people who come off seeming very angry when they're not. You know, it's just how it is on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that I think it's more often, way more often than not, like positive interactions, even in criticism, than negative ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just all you got to say. If you really want to have criticism, if you're in a situation where you're in like a chat, like a live chat situation, and it's like something, this is what I would say. I would be like, yeah, man, I really like this song. We should do more songs like that because I like that song a lot. You know what I mean? Like, there is like a positive way.
I think the kind of criticism I would listen to, because I've changed the way I look at things. I think I used to look at it a lot more black and white. You know, like, oh, y'all, this is me. And if I start letting y'all in, then the formula's changed up. And then you're not getting what you came here for. You know, I would be fooling y'all. But now I'm just like, well, okay, if everybody, for instance, started saying shit like, hey, I love Rav's music, but man, like the high end lately has been like really grating. If, like everybody started saying that, I'd be like, oh, fuck, I'm losing my hearing. And I just didn't know, you know? So like, I know that's like a very extreme example, but like that is just an example of like me definitely considering feedback and understanding that like I am making the music for myself and I'm trying to make it the best expression, but you know, I don't want it to be a bad time for everyone else. I'm not trying to cater to everyone else, but if like something is just like really robbing people of like a slightly different but a much better experience, I would like to at least be aware of it, you know? It doesn't mean it will guarantee changes or whatever, but I'd like to factor it in, and again, especially if it's like a consensus thing.
Yeah. Hold on. I want to say something about something you said earlier too. I saw this video the other day. So you were talking about like, man, like if there was a general consensus that like all of your mixes were too bright and had too much high end or like whatever. I saw a video the other day and it was this random dude. And I don't know if this is actually accurate or not, so don't quote me on this, but I do think that if it is accurate, it's pretty interesting, right? So it was this dude. I get like kind of unhinged people on Reels sometimes. I send you videos of it, you know? But it was this guy, and he was just like, did you know that there are certain like substances that you can put into your body that will actually like change the way you perceive sound, right? And sometimes it's like a vibes thing, right? With like weed, like you smoke weed and like you hear certain things a different way or whatever, right? But he was saying that in the late 70s and early 80s, that there was a term for people who were mixing while on cocaine. They called them coke mixes, because they would be much more bright, because something to do with like, he explained it, but he was like something to do with like the increased like blood flow from being on a stimulant like that, like actually dulls out your hearing slightly.
I wonder if Adderall does that to people too.
I feel like it probably does, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. This could be
We're
bullshit,
not doctors,
by the way. Yeah, but I did think it was kind of interesting.
In my mind, I like to pretend I'm a doctor sometimes. That counts.
I mean, all I'm saying is that no one said, Dre, you're not a doctor, and he just went on to make a bunch of money. And
I need a doctor. And then it cuts to like a scene of like Dr. Dre at a scene of like Eminem is like in a car accident, half of his body's missing. He's like, Dre, I need a doctor. Help. And Dre's just like, oh my God. Oh.
And it just cuts.
It's like, I don't know what to do. I'm not actually a doctor. I'm like, I don't know.
Bro, you know what's crazy? Sorry, we're having an ADHD moment. I started watching. Have you seen this show? It's called The Pit. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a medical show.
I've heard of it.
It's good. I like it. I've watched a few episodes. I had to stop watching it because it's intense. Hospital stuff fucks with me a little bit. Yeah. But like, Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah. But I was watching it and I watched like 3 or 4 episodes, and it's crazy because it's like basically it's like the emergency room area. They call it the pit because it's in Pittsburgh, right? And like the fucking emergency room is just like random people coming in all the time with all these random different problems, right?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be an hour of their day, so the doctor's just going from room to room to room, just like checking in, what's going on here, what's going on here, what's going on here, right? And it'll be like some shit like, oh yeah, this kid ate a bunch of fucking THC gummies, he's 4 years old, what do we do? And then the next room will be like,
down.
this lady is from Nepal and doesn't speak any English, but it looks like she got her foot ran over. like it'll just be some random shit. And I want to see the pit, but it's Dr. Dre and he's just confused the whole time.
It's him and Dr. Phil running around a hospital trying to run it.
Yeah,
the nerds are like, doctor, what should we do? He's like I don't know why it's funny to me to imagine just panicking at all times. Just being overwhelmed.
He just sees like a burn victim and he's
yeah, just like existing hurts.
Yeah.
How did we get on to that subject matter of Dr. Dre? Before Dr. Dre, I need a doctor.
We were talking about how Dr. Dre is like your hero and stuff.
Before that,
we were talking about we got to talk about the pit.
Before that,
which we got from Dr. Dre. How did we get to Dr. Dre? How did we do this?
Nurse, doctor.
Eminem.
Was that? I know that I brought it up, but it felt like
you said you're not a doctor. You said because we were talking about Coke mixes.
Oh, okay. Damn.
What's wrong with it?
So stupid.
Yeah, I mean, like I definitely I knew that we were going. I said it. I'm having an ADHD moment. We're going to talk about the pit based off of this. We went places. But yeah. Apparently, people just did enough coke to where it changed the music for a while and how it was sounding and stuff. But this also could have been just a random dude. The post had like 26 likes, so I don't even know why I brought it up, but I thought it was interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
My sources are like I know
source,
a guy.
I made it up. Yeah, like
exactly. He was wearing a mask too. The guy was like wearing a ski mask.
It came to me in a dream.
The more I explained it, the more unhinged it sounds. He's like wearing like a wife beater and a ski mask.
But maybe it came to you in a dream.
Yeah, I think that it came to me in a dream is some shit I've said way too many times this year.
Yeah.
My sources are it came to me in a dream.
Okay, so check this out. You're gonna grow out
afro,
a handlebar mustache,
a handlebar afro,
like a big fat one. It's gonna take you a while to grow it out, probably, right? How long would it take you to grow a handlebar? Be real.
I don't think that like it doesn't like this doesn't seem to like want to go further than what it is. So it would just, I mean, it's going to look more like a weird Fu Manchu.
Okay. Well, fuck it then, whatever. We'll stick with what we get. We're doing a Fu Manchu. Never mind.
No. Well, a Fu Manchu that's kind of difficult because you have to like let it grow down. It would take so long.
Oh my gosh. Why are you getting
right? Yeah, wouldn't that would take like a year.
Okay. Okay, you know how long women carry babies for?
Like,
almost
I don't know,
as
like
long
5
as a
minutes.
Year. Okay, so boom.
Why they gotta kill? Just put the baby down. Down.
What was I gonna say? I know we were ADHD, but there was some that's a part of that I wanted to.
You were saying out loud that you want to strangle every single one of your fans in front of.
I love the fans. I also just I
strangle.
I want to be honest. I've had like a lot of time to think about it over the last, I would say, year or so. Like really think about my relationship with my audience, and I definitely want to put in effort into like continuously nurturing a healthy relationship with
That's
the
good.
community. You know what I mean? Like these people matter to me, and I truly am grateful. They help make our dreams a reality. Like they help me pay the rent and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
for
grateful.
sure. Yeah, I'm actually flipping the script.
I thought you were actually. I'm ungrateful.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. I'm
Okay.
flipping the script. I'm going to be ungrateful.
Do it.
I'm going to be.
Hit him with it.
Okay, let's do some role playing. You're a fan of my music.
Whoa, Kill Bill the rapper.
Die.
Oh, is that a Scott Pilgrim reference?
Yeah, kid. No, have you ever seen that commercial? I feel like you had to have, right? With Mean Joe Green when he's like, when the kid, I don't remember what it said. For some reason, I think it's like Sunny D, but I might be wrong. But it's like an ad where the kid goes and he's like, "Oh my God, it's Mean Joe Green," and then he like throws him his jersey. It's all sweaty and stuff. And he, like the kid takes it. Like I want to do that. I want to have that interaction, but with like a fan. Like it'll be just a one-on-one. They just see me. Oh my God, Kill Bill the rapper. Like, here you go, kid, and just throw him a dirty jersey and just see how it goes.
I love this idea. The following idea better. I need you to play it out with me. Like as I play it out, or the story unfolds, I want you to like almost ad-lib it, like what you're saying to yourself, or like kind of mumble like what's going on. You know, like
okay.
I'm like, all right, so like everyone's like, whoa, you're on stage. You're like, oh my God, that's Kill Bill. He killed that show. It was crazy. You're pointing to like a dude up front who has been going really rabid the whole set, turning up. They knew every single word. You turn to them, you lock eyes, you point at them, you go, you, I fucking love you. I love you. You did so good.
This is actually like a one-to-one interaction that has happened before, but go on.
I fucking love you. I'm good. You're supposed to be mumbling one of these things.
What am I supposed to? Am I talking to him?
Yeah, you're mumbling. It's like, oh, this is pretty
Oh,
good.
you did so good. You know every word. Why am I talking like Kuwabara?
So yeah, you're very grateful. You're like,
I'm so grateful.
You're like, all right. You're pointing to your shirt, and you're like, see this? Yeah, like
See this?
I'll give it to you.
I'm gonna give it to you.
He's like, no way. The tears start flowing down his face. You start pulling on your shirt. You're like struggling a little bit. Struggle would be like, this dang shirt.
This dang shirt, it's glued on again.
As you like try to lift it, you step forward, you slightly stumble, and you fall into the crowd, right? You break your neck and die. Would you, if that happened, would you like let me take your PlayStation 5?
Yeah, dude. You can have it.
Okay.
You can have it. You can play Bellatro on it.
Holy kill
As long as they don't take it off PS Plus. Bellatro. That's for free. You can quote that.
You know
You
what
can
else you
quote
could
that.
quote? The following thing that Bill's about to say about the Patreon, but Bill, I need you to say it as if you're under like duress.
A spell.
But I need
Okay.
you to. This needs to be like an A24.
A24.
A24 production. Your acting needs to be really good. You need to lock in, but it can't be like over the top anime. It needs to be like you're like actually acting. You're in there. You're under duress talking about our Patreon. Go.
Wait. Stop it. For some reason, I don't know what the word duress actually means. Does that just mean stress? Like, what does that exactly mean?
Like, yeah, I guess like, okay, another way to put it would be like you're very anxious. You know, you feel like unsafe. You feel threatened, in danger, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's like an anxiety
okay.
that comes from a place of like viscerally feeling you're in danger, but you're trying to hold it together. Because you're trying to do this
feel like
Patreon ad. Like,
I want to point out that I felt like that's what the word meant, but for some reason, because it's saying the phrase is under duress, made me feel like, could this mean under oath or something, like some kind of thing that's not that? And then I would have looked really silly if I didn't know. So I just want to be upfront.
Shoot, you in the head.
Okay. All right, let's do this.
If you don't deliver this ad, and that's why you're under duress, kind of, but you have to, like, if you reveal to anyone anything, if you show any emotion, I will fucking kill you. So you can't reveal it. You can't be stumbling in a cartoony way, but you have to, like, lock it in, but deep down, if anyone knew that someone was pointing a gun at you and all your 7 children, they would know what was going on.
I got to do this for Tommy and for Ricky and for Bill Jr. and for Bill Jr. 2 and for Tommy 2 and Ricky 2. And who could forget Bartholomew?
Yeah. Which one's your favorite?
None of them.
So, there you are. Boom.
Are you going to play the music?
Sorry.
Yes, on the Patreon, we've got a few different things.
And you get killed because you're too jumpy. They're like, boom. So you gotta realize you gotta lock in a little bit. You can't be so jumpy. You gotta make it look like you're presenting it normally, like you're presenting it good. But there's just like super subtle. Every now and then, there's something super subtle that looks a little nervous. Maybe like the way that your eyes jump from one corner to another, but not always. Just like once every now and then. Something that like you're clearly trying to control it and hold it in, and every now and then it slips out.
Okay. I think I got this. Yeah. So over at the Patreon, for $5, you could purchase. You could. You could be You were
doing so good, dude. I had to step away from the mic and I was dying. That was so fucking good. Okay, so over on our Patreon, we got. All right, you got this. You got this. Wait, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath with me.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, so over on the Patreon, for the $5 tier, you could get another episode of Void FM, just like this episode. There's 4 extra episodes a month. For every week of Void FM, there's another episode behind the paywall on the Patreon. Also, if you saw at the beginning of the episode, for $20, you could get your name in the credits. And that's pretty neat. Also, $20, you can play games with us on game night for those bonus episodes that I've mentioned earlier from the $5 tier. Also, sometimes we do advice nights. I couldn't think of advice.
No, keep going.
Sometimes we do advice. If advice hours. If you want to talk about your problems, we could talk about. I certainly won't talk about mine, but we could talk about yours.
Just Lord.
Subscribe, please, please, subscribe.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even smoothly stop that.
That was good. I like that. We're right back in it. I'm back to safety. I'm back. I was really.
That's pretty good. Honestly, I would have shot you earlier. There was a moment where, like, I was like, I should shoot him here, but like, I would have, like if I was holding you hostage.
Yeah, if you were in that position and that was your prerogative, then yes,
and I would have definitely. I'm like, oh, he's overstepped it, but. It was pretty dang good. I'm gonna give you a solid, I'm gonna give you a solid thumb.
Out of 10, a thumb out of 10.
A solid thumb.
Yeah.
So good job, everyone, for getting through this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Thank you for getting through this with us. As always, your troopers. If you want more punishment, you know where to go. We love you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
We're bringing the pain. I came to bring the pain. See ya.
The following is a preview of this week's Patreon exclusive episode. Available now over on the Void FM podcast Patreon.
So, Bill, what are we doing?
We're going to be playing a game we've never played before together. It's called Fortnite. It's kind of like Elden Ring Night Rain, but like with the guns.
They're robots.
I hate robots.
It's a real robot again. I hear another one. This time that's got to be.
This has got to be a real person.
This has got to be a real.
I think that was a real person. I think we got a bunch of good kills there.